Welcome to episode 2 of The Good Shit Show. I'm Lindsay, your host, and I'm so excited to see you today or be with you today. I guess if you're listening with your ears or watching with your eyes, either way, happy to be here with you. Just some housekeeping. Wanted to make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit like and subscribe and share and leave comments and make it so lots and lots of people see it. That'd be really cool. Also, make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and share. So that's exciting. Okay, so let's get into it. So last episode, we talked a lot about the negativity bias and how I came to discover that. And the way I came to discover that was through work. So today, I am going to be sharing the good and the shit that you have shared with me all about work. Work. Okay. So we all know that work is something that you have to do, right? We have to make money. And so regardless of if you are working your dream job, which I hope that for you, I hope you are working the best job of your entire life. I can say right now that the current job that I have right now, teaching at the school where I teach, is the best job I've ever had. And if you ask me today, I'm going to tell you I want to be there until I fall over dead. But it's still work. It's still a job. So there's still certain aspects about your work that just suck. That's why they have to pay you to do it. So I think this is an excellent kind of introductory episode into the good and the shit. Work. It's something you got to do. We hope that it's good, but there's also going to be some shit. So I've got 3 people that I'm going to be highlighting today with shit, and 4 people that I'm going to be highlighting today with good. So we got a lot of good, a little bit of shit. So let's get to it. All right, all aboard Celebration Station. Choo choo. All right, so for me, something I want to celebrate about my work this week. This week, my work has been really, really fun because I am getting a bunch of my reading students excited about reading nonfiction. And I know that sounds really boring, probably to literally everybody else. But when I can get high schoolers to care about nonfiction, that's really exciting. So we're going to be starting a novel study on Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson. And yes, that is me recommending that book to you. If you've never read it, please read it. If you have teens, there is a young adult version out there that you can read. It is just a beautiful, excruciating, incredible memoir. Highly recommend you check it out. So I get to share that with my high schoolers. So super excited about that, celebrating that. Okay, let's get to all you lovely people. All right, first guy that is contributing to the podcast today, his name is Doc, and he lives here in Tallahassee with me, but actually we went to high school together down south, so it's a very exciting time. Doc says that his new promotion is slowly getting him out of debt, and that is a huge celebration, obviously, for a promotion. We love upward mobility. That is amazing. But also fighting debt. Like, debt is so oppressive and so it's everywhere. I mean, everybody, from what I hear, struggles with debt because of the way this society is set up. So when you are finding a way to crawl out of that, love that. Cool. The next one I wanted to talk about is my buddy Ian, who lives in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And he is excited because he is booked every day with clients. So this is a huge accomplishment for anyone who has any sort of freelance or, gig economy kind of deal. When you get to that place where your plate is full, it is so exciting. I remember when I became fully freelance and I had a full plate of clients, it felt unreal because I had kind of built this from the ground up and I had never, ever done anything like that before. And so that is incredible. So Ian, I'm celebrating with you. That is huge. Love that for you. All right. So moving on to my friend Caitlin, who is in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and she is working on a new job. And she says, this feels like a lifestyle more than a job in a good way. She says, there are quarterly team events like laser tag, monthly lunches, and golf outings, friendly coworkers who work together and will help out on any projects, even if it's not theirs. So all of that there are so many layers to that to celebrate. It is obviously a supportive work environment. It's a place where you can reach out and get support when you need it. Like at the very end here, when you are drowning in your own projects and you reach out, you're not going to be met with resistance. You're not going to be met with condescension. You're going to be met with support and care. And that's huge. I love that. That is awesome, Caitlin. But then all of the connecting that's outside of the actual like day-to-day work activities, that's crucial, because when you are at a job for 40 hours a week and you are miserable because the people around you are miserable, I can tell from experience, it is not the best ever. So love that, celebrating that with you, Caitlin. Love you and love that for you. All right, so this last one is coming from a friend who's hoping to remain anonymous. And when we get to the shit or G, it'll make sense. But this person says their partner interviewed for a crazy new job that would fill their cup in many ways with a raise. So a pretty substantial, paycheck coming along, which love that. So sending good vibes, sending all the wish wells for you, my friend. You know who you are. And I hope that everything works out the way it needs to. Yeah. So that's the end of the good shit. We're going to head into the shit or G, aka the bad shit, in just a second. But before we do, I just kind of wanted to take a minute to throw it back to the last episode where we talked about my initial foray in the professional sphere as a news producer. So that job was the epitome of good and shit, right? I mean, there was so much that was good about it. There was so much I could celebrate about it. The first thing I wanted to celebrate about it was the fact that I saw that career path when I was so young and I said, I want to do that. And then I did it. That is awesome. So I am high-fiving 22-year-old Lindsay for making her 5-year-old Lindsay's dreams come true. That's awesome. One thing I want to celebrate too is that it was so rewarding every single day to see a newscast come into fruition. As a producer, you start with a blank slate at the beginning of the day. There are all of these slots in your A block, your C block, that's jargon. I apologize. There's just from the top of the newscast to the bottom of the newscast, it is a blank slate. And as the day goes on, you get to piece together something really incredible. And then when it's showtime, it is a thing of beauty. And what's really fun is to watch the directors and the reporters and the anchors all come together to make this thing happen. And then it happens, and then it's over and it's done, and it will never happen again. So that was so cool. Just experience creating something that was so unique and never could be recreated. It was so incredible. And then other things that were amazing about it, my coworkers were incredible. We were all working so hard. We were all just kind of like in the thick of it, from day to day. And so it was a very tight-knit group of people, and that was really, really awesome. Side note, if you've never seen The Newsroom by Aaron Sorkin, it's only 3 seasons, but it's literally perfect, and you should go watch it because it's exactly what like working in a newsroom is like. So then there's the shit, right? The shit that led me to eventually exiting that career. I had no sleep ever. My mental health was in the gutter. It was just, I was destroyed on the inside. My physical health was deteriorating. As we know from the first episode, I turned into a person that kind of radiated negative energy because I was just surrounded by it all the time. So the last thing I'll say too is I did go into news thinking I would make mad money. That is not true. You do not make mad money in the newsroom. As a teacher, I am making a lot more. So if that tells you anything, there you go. So without further ado, we are now holding space in the Shittergy. So Ian is starting us out here with just the reality. Literally all he said is finances are hard. And I wanted to hold so much space for that because at my current age and stage in my career, I mean, I'm at a place where all my bills are getting paid. I may or may not have bought a couple of dresses online today on a whim. My kids are fed. They are enjoying extracurricular activities. And yet, it always feels like I'm scraping by somewhere. Like, I'm never fully able to rest financially, which feels frustrating because I have felt this way ever since I received my first paycheck from the newsroom. And I understand that even with raises, even with booking yourself, beginning of the day to end of the day with all clients, like the reality is that inflation is ridiculous. The cost of living just keeps going up. It's kind of killing the American dream, as it were. And so, yeah. So Ian, anyway, I'm holding space for you and I'm empathizing with you. Finances are really, really freaking hard. Coming into back to Doc, kind of transitioning into back to Doc, we're celebrating this amazing promotion that is allowing Doc to chip away at the debt. But the reality is that debt is delaying a full transition into his new and approved living space. And that is so demoralizing to be in a place where you are working so hard every single day. And yet there's this milestone in front of you that you just can't get to because this weight is holding on to you. And that's really what debt is. And, I say that as someone who has gone through a lot of financial hardships over the past 5 years and is looking at my own pile of debt and just not really sure how to deal with it. So anyway, I appreciate you, Doc, sharing that with me. And I hope that when you do get to make that full transition into that apartment, that you feel so much peace in that space because of what it has taken to get you there. So in the meanwhile, while it is so hard, please know that we are holding space for you and it's key. Last little bit on the Shittergy. I left it to the very end because it's pretty heavy and I want to allow for there to be some decent space for this person. So my sweet anonymous friend, their partner is up for this new job, big promotion, big pay increase. On paper, it looks really exciting. However, it's never just that simple, right? Life doesn't happen on paper. Life happens in the real world. So this is what they have to say. I have so many worries about making I have so many worries about making a family decision about my partner taking this new job if it is offered. I worry that it takes energy away from our family and adds unnecessary conflict to our marriage. And here's the big one. I feel major guilt because I hope they don't get the job offer. That's big. That is heavy. That is real. And, you know, if I can provide a little bit of empathy and some levity to that, the first thing I want to say is, how incredible are you that your concern for your marriage and your concern for your family and its dynamic and its strength, that concern and care and love far exceeds your desire for a bigger paycheck, a cushier budget. That is the thing. Like, that is what I mean when I say that life doesn't happen on paper. Life doesn't happen on a pay stub. Life happens in your house, on the couch, next to your kid on the floor while they build a train track. When you're cleaning up, Legos for the 800th time. That's where life happens. It doesn't happen on a pay stub. And so the fact that you are holding so closely this value to your life is so beautiful. And so I want you to focus on that when you are struggling with that guilt. Because the guilt that you are feeling is just your heart telling you it is conflicted. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Conflict is not bad. Conflict is challenging, but it's not bad. And so your heart is conflicted. You want to support your partner. You want to be there for them. You want to cheer them on. And also you want your family to remain healthy and intact. Neither of those things are wrong. And they can exist in the same universe. And as a matter of fact, as you feel it right now, you know that they do. So I have experienced firsthand this conflict, and I have seen it in my own family, and I've seen it in other families, and I have seen it go terribly wrong. There was one person that I really looked up to when I first got married, who was also freshly married, and they were also really, really great at their job. And they were all in all the time. Anytime work needed, they were there. And their spouse vocalized their frustration about the situation. And they didn't make it. So I say that to affirm you, but at the same time, like, their story is not your story, right? So what I want to offer up is this idea that you have your values and priorities in a very, very, very good space. And I want to celebrate that. And I don't find it a problem that you're struggling with these feelings of guilt, of not wanting your partner to get the promotion. So if or when this promotion comes to fruition, I want you to, you live your life, you do you. I'm just me. I'm just a person. But if it were me sitting down with you instead of on a podcast, I would say to you, don't forget that feeling. Don't forget that value that you are placing on your family and its cohesion and its strength. Don't forget that. Because whether the promotion comes or not, there is going to be something that tries to pry you apart. It could be any number of things. I'm not going to speak any of them out into the universe because I just don't feel like that's helpful. But never forget that. So that is it. That is the good and the shit all together. It's so interwoven. It's always existing in the same universe. The good and the shit exist not just in the same universe, but literally in the same thing. Like a promotion is great and also potentially threatens a family dynamic. Being booked every day with clients is so awesome, and yet you are working so hard and still can't make ends meet. That's hard. Getting out of debt is so rewarding, but it takes such hard work. It's all existing in the same moment. So today, instead of leaving a benediction for you, I'm going to leave you some homework. And it does require you to have Disney Plus or get a friend who has Disney Plus and fire up Bluey. I know nobody has told you about Bluey, right? I'm the first person to tell you about Bluey, right? Everybody knows about Bluey. If you've not watched Bluey before, I'm so sorry. I'm about to change your entire life, and you're welcome. So Bluey is a great show, just for all reasons. It's cleverly written. The episodes are only 8 minutes long, which, hello, in this universe with all of our horrible attention spans, amazing. I would be shocked if you made it this far in my podcast. Way to go. Gold star for you. But anyhow, Bluey's great. Oh, and on top of that, they're dogs and they have Australian accents. What more could you want? Anyway, so Bluey, please watch the episode The Sign. Now, admittedly, I did just hype Bluey up for only having 8-minute episodes, and The Sign is like 28 minutes. But just take 28 minutes out of your day and watch The Sign for Bluey. Some context that you're going to need, okay? Some context that you're going to need if you have never seen Bluey. It's a family of 4, mom and a dad. Bandit is the dad. Chili is the mom. And then Bluey and Bingo are sisters. And they're so cute. And when we enter into The Sign, Bluey's family is in the midst of selling their house because their dad has gotten a job in a different city. So you can just imagine all of the good and all of the shit that happens there. So that is my benediction to you. Thanks for hanging out with me today in the good and in the shit and all the beauty in between. I would love to share your stories of good and shit. So please fill out the form that's on the channel. And until next time, cheers.